Hi, it's Out and About with Annie, and we're going to tell a story again today. And if you didn't catch my first story, it actually wasn't a story, it was true crime. So please go below and watch that. It's a true crime, hasn't been solved, it's a mystery. So check out that. Please like so it'll get moved up in the algorithm so other people can hear about it because no one's covered that true crime. Now this one today is a different case, okay, and it takes place in Massillon, Ohio, at the Massillon Public Library. And this is a little mystery too, but not true crime. All right, so this takes place at the Massillon Public Library that's located at 208 Lincoln Way East, Massillon, Ohio. And a little bit about Massillon, Ohio. It has a really rich history. It's a smaller town, but it goes back and has a rich history. 1812, it was settled by some Quakers. A lot of people do not know that. It became popular when the canal was built through there. And for those of you who don't have canal systems around, in our area, there is a lot of water, and they use those waterways for commerce, such as tugboats and canal boats. So there was a canal built through, and canal boats came through carrying merchandise, transporting all kinds of things. Now, these canal boats were pulled by horses on the sides of the canals and men. So this was, way back when. So that made Massillon a stop on that route of canals. And that canal went all the way up to the Great Lakes. It went further south. Right now, all those canal trails that went beside the canals are all bike and hiking paths. You can go all over Ohio using those trails. All right, so also Massillon was also known for its steel industry. There were quite a few steel factories, plants in the area. Not a big place, but it was really known for its steel industry. And unfortunately, the last steel plant closed, Republic Steel closed in 2023. And before that, all the men, it was a steel mill town. Some people walked to work. They made decent wages, which is fantastic, because that's not always the way it's been. Massillon, Ohio is also known for its high school football. Neighboring Massillon is Canton, Ohio, and that's the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame and considered the birthplace of pro football. But in order for there to be a birthplace in Canton of football, there had to be a rival, and it's always been Massillon. Massillon High School Tigers football is the thing in Massillon, is the thing, and rightfully so. Again, in 2023, they won a state championship. They're always in the playoffs. Very good football team. All right, so now the industry had left, and now today they are attracting new industry. Shears Foods has their world headquarters in Massillon, downtown Massillon, a block from today's story, which is the Massillon Public Library. So Massillon's still a hopping place. It's a place where you can get food and drinks and talk to your neighbor, and it's a very close-knit community. So Massillon's a pretty happening place. All right, today's story takes place in the public library. It's on Lincoln Way in Massillon, right downtown. It's in an old estate home. It's been built onto, but it's in an old estate home. The actual home was built and lived in by one of the founders of Massillon, and that's James Duncan. So they turned his home into a library. Now, there's several things that's gone on in this library. And everybody reports on it differently. And there's even been paranormal experts in there using their equipment, and they say, yes, it's haunted. Yes, we're talking about a haunted library. They say, yes, it's haunted, but they say it's haunted in different places and different things happen. So we'll go over some of those things, and then you can figure it out if you believe it or not, or if you'd like to visit there and see if you can run into one of them. One of the things that's happened is the custodial staff has heard a person walking with a cane on the 3rd floor. They don't ever see this person, but they've heard it. All right? Some of the other things that's happened is some of the staff have said that books just go flying off the shelves as if someone pushed them off the shelves. Now, that seems to be a common thing when people have paranormal activities, but that's one of the things that's happened. When the experts in paranormal were there, they were using their equipment and asking questions, and through their electronic device, they heard someone answer, no. No. So, I don't know if that's true or not. Could be, couldn't be. Okay, one of the other things, as I say, is very common in there is the smell of an unfamiliar perfume, and one that everybody feels is a little old-fashioned, which could be true. If there's a ghost in there, I don't think they would be wearing perfume from today. Now, that's interesting, considering how many people go in and out of the library. Now, they said it's happened when the library wasn't open. But, you know, that's interesting. I think you'd smell perfumes there all the time. But that's true. Now, the library has different levels. It was a mansion. So, it's got all these little hidey places and attics and basements. So, a lot of people get freaked out for that and think they hear things and don't think they hear things. I'm not discounting anything anybody heard. Because how would I know? I'm not discounting it. Well, now, they think that it's haunted by 1 or 2 women. The first woman is Clara Baldwin Burns. And she lived in, and the reason, I'll back up here. The reason they think it's one of these 2 women is because they're the only ones that died in the home. So they lived there and also passed there. So Clara Baldwin Burns, she lived in the home in 1909 and died in 1931, I think. And then, another one lived in the home from 1895 and died somewhere in the 1900s, 19-teens. And they think it's one of those 2. They were both relatives of the, one was a, let me see, I think one was a daughter and one was an in-law or something, but they were both people that lived in home. Like I said, it was a mansion. It was common for multiple extended families to live in mansions. Of course. So, you can go online and see all kinds of things about this. Everybody's visited the library and tried to see the ghosts and things. I've been in that library numerous times, not hundreds of times or anything. And I've gone in through the basement floor. That's where the kids' library is. And I've gone all the way up to the 3rd floor, I believe, or the 2nd floor. I think it's the 3rd floor. And that's where the computers, I usually go in there to get things printed off or something like that. So I've been in the stacks because I love books. So I always see what's new there. So I've never seen anything. But I will tell you, this has high ceilings and it's very echoey in there. So, and on top of that, being echoey, you can pretty much hear things going on in other parts of the library, which is kind of weird. You know, the newer libraries have, you know, carpeting and soundproofing, and so you don't hear everything going on as much. This one you hear a lot of things going on in the library. However, I definitely enjoy this library more than the new ones that are one story that have no personality. This library has personality. So if you're in the area, Massillon, 208 Lincoln Way East, Downtown Library, go check it out and see if you can find the ghost. This is the Massillon Public Library, and it's claimed to be haunted.